Yay, there we are. It's Friday, coffee chat time, except I have a tea today. All the ice has melted, but I probably will be drinking it as we go. Welcome, everybody. I love Fridays. It makes me so happy. I have been in the car running around doing errands literally all day, and except that I did 2 hours of live video this morning and was working on editing videos. It is a crazy time in my life, but I have been looking forward to this for so long. Hey, everybody, welcome. So I hope everybody is having a good time. So I was like, okay, let's wait for someone to mention the hat because I know it's very different. But I am going through some transformations here. So it's one of those crazy things that I want to talk about just a little bit. So I will talk about it during the Friday update stuff in general, but I feel like this is an opportunity as we are getting ready to move, to put all of our stuff in storage, or I took a huge trunk full of stuff to donation today. They particularly were looking for clothes. So we gave away, I think it was like 3 full bags of clothes this morning. And it is just, oh no. Writer on Will says, I was so busy writing, Sarah's voice startled me. So we've been giving away a lot of stuff. We're getting rid of almost all our furniture except for what's in this room. And it's just this major decluttering in our lives. And I feel like hand in hand with the 6 Months for Life project that I had started, I feel like it's just one of those things where I needed to just freshen up and try some new things. So there's a couple things that, oh no, it's glitchy. No, I'm having glitchy video. It says connection is stable. No, I don't want to be glitchy. I don't think there's anything I can do to change that. We'll just have to hope that it fixes itself. I could always restart it, I guess. It's better. Okay, popping out and coming back in. Maybe a refresh on YouTube. I don't know. It looks fine on my side. So let me know if it's better. Okay. Well, we'll hope it's better now. I feel like this is a time for a lot of different transformations, including in the way that I look, in trying different styles, trying different things. And it's one of those strange things where you're going to be trying new things and people are going to be watching you. And sometimes that means some criticism coming my way. And I'm just going to have to get used to it because I've been thinking about that a lot lately of like, okay, I'm going to try some new things. I have to adjust some of the clothes that I wear or the typical things that I want to do, except, I'm doing it on a public stage. I either have to step away completely from live streams and vlogging, or I have to just own the transformation and let people criticize if they want to criticize. And so not that you guys are doing that, just that I had posted some photos earlier this week and some people had some critical comments. And it's just like, you know what? I have to get to a place in my life where I stop caring about the critical comments and just focus on the sisterhood, the friendships, and the happiness, because not everybody's going to like every single thing that I do. And that's okay. And I feel like that's part of the transformation too. So yesterday I went in. So a lot of you know that I had one of the things that I did for myself as kind of like a self-care thing or a beauty, one of my rare beauty kind of things. Now, I don't usually go and get my nails done. They look absolutely terrible right now. But because it takes so long to get it done and I start to get nervous about getting my nails done, I don't know why, but I decided that I was going to go in and get my lashes done. So this was something that I started doing because I was on video so much and I was putting on fake lashes and it was always taking so long and then the glue would get all messed up or I'd have to replace them. And I decided to go and get lash extensions. So I did this when I was pregnant with Evie and I absolutely loved my lash technician. Her name is Olivia. So shout out to Olivia. She runs a studio here in Charleston called Knox and Olive, and she's incredible. And I have really, really enjoyed that. However, going around the country, there's a couple of concerns with that. It's like, I don't necessarily think I'm going to have the time to go and get my lashes done. It sometimes can take an hour to 2 hours or more to go and get my lashes done every 2-3 weeks. And then second of all, I don't know if I'll trust every technician. There's a lot of like hygiene things that go in with the lashes and other stuff. So I was like, okay, I need a new solution. So I went into my final appointment with Olivia yesterday and had her take off what was left of my lashes. And instead she did what's called a brow lamination. So I don't know if anybody, George was like, I don't notice anything different, but she basically like straightened out my brows so that they look like, I don't know, she did some magical things. And so my brows are looking on fleek, as they say. I guess it's I don't know, the cool thing to say like 2 years ago. And I am trying for the very first time Glamnetic magnetic eyelashes. And you guys, these lashes took 2 seconds to put on. It was insane. Like when I used to do the glue lashes, I'd put them on, have to pull them off, put them on again, try them again. This, I tried the Glamnetic ones, and you just take like regular eyeliner that has some kind of like, I don't know, little tiny metal in it. I don't know, iron something. And you put on just like your normal eyeliner. And then you just go pink, and the eyelashes are on, and they're on with magnetics, like magnets. I think it's so crazy. And I was like, this is gotta be crazy. I had to do a little bit of research. Like, is this really safe for my eyes? I don't know. But I bought 5 different styles, and I feel like these look very similar to the ones that I was wearing that were the fake, like the lash extensions. But I did buy a couple that I put on, and I'm like, maybe those are a little bit too like very long. So we might try those and see how they look on camera. But anyway, it's really fun. And I think it's really kind of cool. And the thing that sold me on Glamnetic, as opposed to some of the other ones, I think there's ones called Lashies and other things. And this is what sells me on a company, is they were doing a collab with Hello Kitty. So I have some like a Hello Kitty lash applicator and a Hello Kitty like bag that goes with it. I was like, okay, I'm sold on these. And they are a little bit heavy, I would say, but I think they're not really heavier than having the lash extensions on. So I think I'm used to it. But I think if you weren't used to wearing any kind of lashes, you would be like, this, you can tell. And when you blink, you can see them out of your eyes, you know? So it's just, yeah, maybe like Halloween, or if I ever get like super dressed up, or I'm going to be like further away from camera. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things. Yeah. I think the magnetic lashes have been around for a little while, but I think these are pretty cool. And I was pretty excited about them. And then I just got kind of into this idea of putting together a capsule wardrobe, which is something I've wanted to do for a long time. And I kept telling myself, I'm not going to do a capsule wardrobe until I get skinny. You know, I'm going to wait until I lose 50 pounds and then I'll do a capsule wardrobe. But, you know, no time like the present. So I have been putting together my own little capsule wardrobe, which I'm very excited about. So I got the Glamnetic lashes just at glamnetic.com or whatever. I saw them on an Instagram ad. The Instagram ads get me every time. I'm telling you, I have a hard time. I do not have a link, but I will put a link in the Discord server and in the Coven if somebody reminds me, if I don't do it later. So I think I just really enjoy having lashes. I feel like, especially when you are on camera a lot, it really just makes your eyes pop. And so I really enjoy them. And I feel like, I mean, I had George really studying them, and he was like, I think they look more natural than, you know, the glue ones that I was putting on from before. I have not tried putting on my glasses with them yet, but we'll see how that goes. I think they're in the other room. The other things that I got today, I got this hat. So part of my capsule wardrobe. Oh, what's a capsule wardrobe? So a capsule wardrobe, let's pull up my little Friday update here. Welcome to our coffee chat. So I have it right here. So this is not my photo. I got this from a Google search, but basically the idea of a capsule wardrobe is basically where every single thing in your wardrobe mixes and matches, so that you don't have specific outfits like this shirt only goes with this pair of pants, but you have neutral items for the most part that you can mix and match pretty much everything. So here's an example of a small capsule wardrobe where you could build, 100 different outfits out of this. So you're thinking layers, you're thinking neutral, but maybe a few patterns that you can mix together. So like you could wear the basic black tank with the fun leggings. You could wear the basic black tank with the white t-shirt over it with the jeans. You could wear the graphic tee with the shorts, but you could wear the sports bra with the shorts with the basic tank or the pullover on top of it, that kind of thing. So it's this idea of basically being able to create, like picking certain items that are so versatile, there's the word, so versatile that you can have only maybe 30 pieces total in your wardrobe, but you always look like you have a slightly different outfit on. And I have wanted to do this for a while. Now I took a course where I learned for the first time how to use, you were just thinking about building a capsule wardrobe too. This is so crazy. I feel like there are so many times that we are like right on in tune. And I feel like this has been happening to me a lot lately, that people are like, I'm just thinking the same thing. I think maybe it's just the global things that have been happening that a lot of us are thinking about simplifying or other things like that. But I think that, it's so important to be able to feel comfortable in your clothes, to have pieces that you feel like you can express yourself with, but it's also important to simplify, I think, enough, especially on the road. But when you have so much going on in your life, it's so important to try to simplify things where you make a lot of decisions. So sorry for this little crunchy sound because I have that bag, but I will explain it like this. So I took a course several years ago, which was the course that taught me how to 90-day plan. Now, of course, I took what I learned in that course and I made it work for me. So I don't use everything that he talked about in that course, but it was the first time that I was really introduced to the idea of breaking a goal down into projects and tasks. And so this is Todd Herman's class called the 90-Day Year. And this was obviously a transformative course for me, and I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of stuff that was like sports analogies and things that he talked about that didn't really work for me, but I loved the idea of breaking things down. And another thing that he talked about in that class was what he called the Prada protocol. And the Prada protocol is this idea that if you can take something where you make decisions every day, what you're going to wear, what you're going to eat, things that you could put automaticity into, and take those decisions out of your day, then you will have more executive function in your brain, ability to like willpower and executive function to make decisions in your career. And so he goes on to explain how there are a lot of top business people like Steve Jobs, for example, who sort of wore I'm just seeing George's comments, like uniforms in a way to work, where they go, to work every day and they wear exactly the same thing, the jeans, the black turtleneck, or, white blouse with blue slacks or whatever. And that is because it's so much easier to go in, have an automated thing. This is what I put on. This is the salad I eat every day for lunch. Now, when I did bright line eating, that was the main thing that worked for me. And I know not everybody can do that, but I loved that because I was able to, every morning I ate the same breakfast, almost exactly the same breakfast, same lunch every single day of my life. Now, dinners, we had on a rotation of 7 days a week. So every Monday was sausage, broccoli, mac and cheese. Every Tuesday was Taco Tuesday. And that automaticity around my food and what I was wearing, President Obama did that too. And yeah, Steve Jobs lived like that, like his whole life, right? And that's part of what these business people or these hugely like inspirational people have said was a huge factor in how they are able to take their attention and focus on other things like creative ideas, how to run their business, because they're not using up their precious, like it is a proven fact that we have limited amount of ability to make decisions. and that we have a limited amount of like creative ideas within a day. And as an entrepreneur or as a business owner or as a writer, for example, you make so many decisions throughout your day, not just about like what to post on social media, but how to how to run your business. What am I going to do for this video? How am I going to edit this? I got to answer these questions. There's so many, like, what are my characters going to do in this last book? And so if you can create automaticity and take decisions out of little things like what do you wear every day, then you will have more executive function in order to put into your creativity. Yeah, decision fatigue is another way of putting that. Exactly, Mason. And that's why we eat rubbish in the evening. Yeah, that's exactly what. So like in Bright Line Eating, she talks about how she recommends not starting to exercise at the same time you start a diet, even though a lot of people like to do both. But she says, don't do both because you need all the executive function, all the decision power that you have in order to keep your eating on track. And if you also work out a lot, then you need to, then it'll, cause you to use up more of that executive function. So what is it? I wanted to pull up George's comment. If you don't know what matches everything's in Capsule Wardrobe, that's how I do it. How George does it is he's still wearing a pair of shorts that he had in high school. I'm just going to call you out like that. Alexandra says, I feel like the odd one out. I can't streamline my life. I need to feel my creativity in what I wear and what I eat, but then I never have problems with those decisions. So that, that's a great way to put it too. Cause like maybe those decisions don't use your executive function because it maybe feeds your creativity, which might be part of your personality, that it's like, it actually is fueling your creativity instead of depleting it. And I think that that's one of the great things. It's like we are, we're all unique and we all have our own ways of doing things. For me, I walk into my closet a lot of times and I'm like, nothing fits me. Nothing looks right. I don't know how to put together an outfit. I just feel like I never really know what I'm doing. And so it's like I go in and I have too many things. And I think this is one way that this trip is going to be really, really valuable for me because I will have so many less things that it'll just be easy to say, okay, this, and it all matches. But anyway, when I was putting together my capsule wardrobe, I was talking to Amber McHugh on the phone, which you guys have heard me talk about her before. And I absolutely adore Amber McHugh. And she wears hats. If you ever watch her in Instagram stories or you go to her planathon or whatever, she wears a hat very similar to this one. And she told me, she's like, when she had to travel quite a bit for her husband's job, they moved to Ethiopia, but she was moving between Airbnbs for about 1.5 years before they moved. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So I was asking her for tips and we talked on the phone for like an hour, which was such a gift because I just love her. She was telling me that she has one suitcase and half of it was very slimmed down clothes and the other half was different hats. And so I was like, okay, in honor of Amber, I'm going to buy like a straw hat. And I wasn't sure how it would look on me, but I actually do kind of like it. And y'all, this hat was like $11. I'm not even kidding. The other things that I got today in the mail that I haven't even opened yet is this little thing here, which is for essential oils. So I don't know if any of you use essential oils, but I do enjoy having essential oils going in my office when I am working because it kind of fuels my creativity. So this has, I just like the scents and things. And then I always have essential oils going when we're about to go to sleep. So this one has a top level and then it also has this bottom level that has a little insert here where you can put the different bottles in, and this will carry 30 different bottles. And I'm excited to have those. So I have to just choose which 30 I want to take with me. And then I got this. And I was thinking that if you guys would like to see it, I might do a video that's just like, here's the things I bought to take on the trip. Things like this. Things for the kids, what I'm going to be carrying my like makeup in, stuff like that. So this one, because part of the way that I'm hoping to differentiate my outfits, because instead of wearing, like I said, the graphic tees, I'm going to be wearing mostly like probably V-neck shirts like this. And I'm going to be wearing different hats, different earrings or necklaces. And so I bought this little roll here, I can pull it out, that I got on Amazon that you can put your necklaces on, and then you can roll it all up and it just goes into this really small little thing. And it's kind of like a little velvet thing. So I'm pretty excited for all those. And I have been kind of collecting a little box that's like, here's what I bought for the car. Here's the essential oils. I bought a essential oil shirt. I just read the word shirt over here. My brain is in two places. I bought an essential oil diffuser that can go in the car, and then one that's called Rome. These are from doTERRA. That is one that is wireless, so I can move it around instead of having to take the one that I have back here that is like really big and it has to be plugged in. So I'm hoping that will help. So Jennifer says, where do you get your essential oils from and how do you know they are pure? So I am getting mine. I was getting all of mine from Revive, which is cheaper and you don't have to like join a group or whatever. But Tanya, you guys know I love Tanya, my tarot guru friend. She is selling now doTERRA oils. And I know that they're one of like Young Living and doTERRA are kind of like the biggest names, I think, in essential oils. And so I've been buying them from her. And I just got a bunch of them in and my lighting kind of went crazy again. So here we go. So yeah, some people said they would definitely love to see that. So if anybody else has a different place that you've been getting yours from. Oh, thank you again for that comment too. That this is all like all new clothes. So, you know, I'm trying lots of new things, new necklaces, new clothes. I haven't worn earrings in years. And I did see somebody just kind of came by in the chat that somebody mentioned, have we considered getting a cat? And we have not, because George is deathly allergic to cats. So there will never be cats in my life, no matter how much I love them. And sadly, we did have to rehome Andrew's fish. I think I told you guys that. What's so funny is that before I go live on Fridays, I'm always like, do I have enough stuff to talk about? And then I just end up chatting forever because I've just been so looking forward to hanging out with you guys. And I haven't even answered any questions. I just sit here for like 3 hours and talk. Okay, so another Friday update thing is that we have been packing up everything in the house. So I have filled up several boxes here in this room, but packing up my office has been more emotional than I thought it would be. I have a huge like set of things there that are going out to new like other people. So that is going to be a ton of like giveaway things. But y'all, this box in particular, this isn't even it completely full, but those Ziploc bags, these are the big gallon bags. I had 7 of those full of pens and markers. And that is in addition to it, 3 full bags of pens and markers that are going to donation or to friends. So I think I have too many pens. Have you guys seen that? What is that commercial? It's not Progressive, but there's another insurance maybe company where they have a commercial and he's telling people how not to be like grow into your mom and dad when you get older. And he's talking about her with the pillows on the couch. And he's like, you have too many, there's nowhere to sit. And George always says that to me as a joke because I do have too many pens, but I love them. I love them. So I have managed to pare down my collection. I will say though, I just got this set of like pastel ballpoint pens from Erin Condren. And I usually do not like Erin Condren, but absolutely no. I don't usually like ballpoint pens, but I love almost everything from Erin Condren. And these, I was like, well, let me get them. And they're actually really, really light pens, but these write so good. I love them. So I'm taking these with me. I also got their new set of little mini gel pens, and I was super excited to see that if you've seen their little mini gel pens, I'll show you this real quick. I was so excited to see that this is the Hello Kitty set. This is what they look like in the black Archer and Olive. How gorgeous is that? That's these little mini gel pens that are the Hello Kitty Erin Condren ones. So I'm like, okay, these are coming with me too. It's so hard to let go of anything, but I am doing my best. I am definitely doing my best. I promise. Then let's see. This is kind of our stack of boxes. I literally just took this photo 5 minutes before. So this is our stack of boxes so far. We have maybe like 3 small boxes or sections. So this is kind of underneath the counter in the kitchen. This is also the bag I'm taking with me. So you can tell that bag on the floor, that's like my baby bag that I bought. So that's going to be the main purse that I'm taking because it also is a backpack. So we're getting there. We are really getting there. We also got rid of our dining room table, our couch, and I sold my Xbox 360, my Xbox One, my PS4. Like, so many things are gone. We still have a lot, but we're getting there. We have some people coming over too to help us on this weekend. So let's talk a little bit about the car, because I see people asking about the car so much. So I will show you guys a little bit. So one thing that happened was this weekend, George and I were talking last weekend, and we just were like, should we buy a car? I mean, I feel like we're unnecessarily suffering because we were trying so hard to not buy a new car, because if we happen to like move or, go down to Florida and we love it there, we want to be able to just buy a house there if we decide that's where we want to stay, or if we go to Louisiana, or, wherever we end up. It's like, maybe this is what we just want the freedom to be able to buy. And they always say, no, don't buy a new car or take out a big loan before you buy a house. So we were trying not to. I drew a card on Sunday night, and this is the card I got. So this is the 9 of Pentacles. This is from the Golden Universal Tarot. And the 9 of Pentacles basically means treat yourself. Like, luxury, you deserve it, do what you want, go for it, treat yourself. So I was like, I'm going to buy a new car tomorrow. So I sent out a bunch of emails and things like that to a bunch of different dealerships, trying to find who had cars in stock and enough for me to actually come test drive on the lot. Let's see. And it turns out that like Monday, a big shipment of cars must have come in, because a lot of these dealerships that didn't have any cars last weekend had cars for me to go look at. So I was super, super excited. Then I went to look at a couple of different cars. And when I was trying to decide which one to buy, there was two that I really liked. So I had the Honda Odyssey, which is a minivan, and the Hyundai Palisade. Now, I am partial to Hyundais because it was like my first car that I bought for myself was a Hyundai, and I drove it for like 9 years and absolutely loved that car. And then we also had a Hyundai Elantra. That's what we were planning to take, and we've driven that car for 6 years, never had a problem with it. And they're just good cars. And so I was partial to that one. That's the one I really wanted, and it felt really luxurious, but it felt like the Odyssey was maybe more practical. So George, this is George's text to me. Want me to draw a card for you? Sure. What's the question? Just say, what's your message for Sarah as she makes this decision? And so he drew this card, which is the sun. And I knew that meant follow your joy, do what makes you happy. And so the car that I bought is the Hyundai Palisade. So this is a 2022 Hyundai Palisade, and the style of the car is called the calligraphy, which I feel like is just perfect for me because, writing and pens, and we were just talking about that. So this is the SUV, and it has the bars and the rails on top. So if we want to add the bag that we bought for the other car up to the top of this one, we can still carry that on here. Here is another look at it. It was obviously raining when I went to go look at these cars. So it's a little bit wet. So that was the first car I saw. The second car I saw was this one, which you can tell he had 2 cars lined up for me to go look. So one was this one, which was the Odyssey. It's a minivan. And the one next to it that you can kind of see there was the Honda Pilot, which I liked the Honda Pilot, but I didn't like it as much as the Palisade. And I actually ended up liking the Odyssey more than I liked the Pilot. So I test drove the Odyssey, took it home, and y'all, as a minivan, this is a nice minivan, very nice minivan. I enjoyed it so much more than I thought. And it has some cool like auto driving type stuff. So if you're in the mood for a minivan or in the market for one, I do recommend it. And look how much space it has in the back. It's definitely more space than any SUV that I test drove. So we were definitely looking for a car that had a third row so that we could put it down and we could have all that extra space. But I went back and I bought the Hyundai, and this is Andrew getting into the car, about to get into the car for the first time. And he was so excited. I did ask him, could I share this photos? And he said yes. But another thing that was super fun is a couple nights, I guess. So we bought the car on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday night, Andrew wanted to go and like just the two of us go for a ride. So he really shouldn't be riding in the front with me. So we just got into, I let him get in the front seat with me and we just drove around our neighborhood. We didn't go like out onto the main street, and we played music. He plugged in the Android Auto and he got to make a playlist, and he was playing with the LED, like there were LED lights that you can change the color in the car. And he was opening the moon roof and we were just singing, and he was playing some of his favorite music. And I just felt like it was such a moment, like something I feel like I always remember, because he was singing to me. He was having so much fun, the light in his eyes. Even putting Evie into the car for the first time, she was like, car. And now she like cried yesterday because she couldn't get into the car and she really wants to go in. So I feel like we're all really excited to have a chance to go into the car and enjoy that. So I also have, let's see. Oh, that's all that I put there. I'm going to close that, but I do have just like a super quick video, but it wouldn't let me share it there. So let me see if I can get it to share here. Let's see. Is that going to work? Hopefully it's going to work. I've never tried to share a video before. So let's see if it'll play for you guys. This is just kind of a quick video of the car. You can kind of get a good view of it. I love the like quilted leather in the seats. And somebody was like, oh my gosh, that quilted leather is so much like your planner that you're taking with you. And I was like, this is so true. But yeah, I was in love with this car from the minute I first saw it. And I was like, oh, but is it more practical to get the minivan? And then I was happy that I followed my little heart there on that one. So just a little quick view at the car. In terms of what I also wanted to mention before we go into questions, and I am doing a couple giveaways today. Some people had asked, what am I taking for my like witchy altery stuff? So this is another place where I really wanted to take more stuff. And I saw somebody, I think it was LA, said, are you getting a car just so you can take more pens? And, George and I were talking about the Odyssey, which you can fit almost twice as much stuff in versus the Palisade. And I was like, I think it's fine for us to have something that's not as big. Like I'm not trying to pack as much stuff in there as possible, because I really do think it's an important time for our family to try to declutter and downsize. I think it's just part of the journey that we're on right now, is to let go of some stuff and to be really present with each other and say, we're going to take just the things that are most special, not like doubles of everything or extras. And so I had started packing up all of I told you guys I had found a solution for my witchy kind of crystals and stuff. So I had started packing it all into kind of a big bin. And I thought that would work really well for us or for me. And then when George started looking at it, he was like, listen, this is too much stuff. It's too much stuff. And I already am taking some of my candles, which is in one other bin. Like these are my Lunum Love candles and my other candles that are already like created with different spells in mind, or are specifically like with intentions for a specific date of new moon. And it's like, I didn't want to leave those behind because I paid a lot of money for them. They have special energy to them. They're probably going to get destroyed. So I was like, okay, I'm definitely taking these candles with me. And now I got to pick all of my I have little incense burners and a cauldron and, all these little tools that I've collected. And I was trying to pack them all into this thing. And then it turned into another one. So I had two little suitcases and I was like, no, this is not going to work. Like I could feel that intuition inside my brain and my heart saying, you have to let go of some of these things. And so what I decided to do, and it was really, really hard for me, but I feel a lightness. I feel the alignment of it. Like this is a right thing to do. George had bought me for my birthday this little like sort of witchy box. This is handmade, and it was from a shop overseas, and it took like months and months for it to come through. And it finally got here, and it came with stuff that was already in it. And I just took everything out of it and repacked it with my own stuff. So the only witchy things other than my one small box of candles that I'm taking is this and my tarot cards, which don't fit in this box. So this is some oils. So I have a money drawing oil. I have a divination oil, and I have a road opening oil. So I have 3 little oils. I had created at the beginning of every year, I create a spell for the year, and it was in a separate box. So I had to kind of redo it, and I put it into this little sachet, and it's down inside one of these little cubbies because I've got it over here on this side because I still want to take it with me because it's for the whole year, right? So I want to keep it. I also have some little tea lights. I have a little sachet here of, Angela, these probably came from your washi tapes that you gave me, these little sachets, but I have some very specific crystals that I'm taking with me that are for energy. I belong to like a witchy paganish group of writers, very small group of very close friends of mine. And I asked them like, what should I take with me? So I've already put black tourmaline in the car to help protect us, but I'm also taking green aventurine. I'm taking a little bit of orange calcite. I am taking some amethyst. I am taking this ocean jasper that my friend Jen got for me. And I am taking some smoky quartz that I'm going to put by the bed. I also do have some Palo Santo, and I have just a little black beeswax candles here. And that all goes into one little segment here. It's like packed so carefully. I'm like, I can do this. I can get it in exactly. I also have a little bit of selenite here. I have a clear quartz because you can really charge clear quartz with any intention. So it doesn't have to have like the same kind of thing. Like, so rose quartz is I use this a lot for like when I will hold it, or I'll use it in my tarot readings and stuff when I'm really needing that like self-love, self-appreciation, confidence, that kind of thing. So I'm taking that. I'm also taking my Hello Kitty that's Labradorite. I love this little guy. So pretty. And then I'm taking my fluorite. I'm taking like everything my friend Jen has ever gotten for me. So this was, I think, now I forget exactly what this one is. This is another type of calcite, and I have to look it up. But this was the newest one that she just sent to me. And I also have a little vial of blessed salt that I will put in front of the doorway of every place that we went or that we go and stay. So I've got I had to really pare some things down, but it is here, and I feel good about it. I also have decided to take my Light Seers Tarot deck. So that's this one. And I will take it in just one little sachet, and this will go in my backpack. So it feels difficult to be like, okay, it all fits in this one thing. But I think that it will be nice to have just one small thing to take with me. And it was really hard to pack up all my crystals, but I packed them with care. And when I get them back, I will cleanse them all and recharge them, and it will be fine. But yeah, it was hard. And one of the things George said that I thought was really he's the best, was he said, you have to be open to discovering new things on the road. And I think that was so incredibly wise of him to say, because I think about all the things that I've collected over the years and all the things I have attachment to. And sometimes that's the way my life is, that I am so attached to the things that have happened in the past, to the person I was in the past, to the mistakes I've made in the past. And I bring those things with me like baggage. But what I need to do, and what this change is about for me, is letting all of that past go and understanding that what happened to me in the past does not define my future, and that I have the ability to recreate my future. And I have to open myself up to the beauty of finding a new crystal shop and being able to go to these new places. And instead of hoarding all these things that I've collected, letting go of them and opening up to the possibilities to opening up to the possibility of discovering something new, a new shop, a new tarot deck, a new crystal that I've never known anything about before, and leaving room for that. And I just think that that is a big part of it, because, in last year's tarot reading, when Tanya told me September would be about leaving something behind and trying new things, like, moving, she said it will be about facing yourself toward the sun. And even though you're leaving something behind that could be looked as sad, you're going to be embracing something new. We did not know at that point that it would be this big of a journey, but I am feeling that wisdom of letting go, turning my face toward the sun, opening myself up for the beauty of a new adventure. And of course, George says, saving a link to that for my next screw up. Oh, I love you. It's so crazy. And when I did my Akashic Records thing with Tanya, that was called her Cosmic Soul Session, she did say that George has been with me in many different lifetimes, and he's always plays this role for me of trying to pull me through, letting go of the past and trying to remind me of the present. And so I just think that is really cool. Hopefully he's not tired of that role. Hopefully I have an equally good role for him, that I'm helping him out as well. So, all right. So that's some of those things. Another fun thing that I discovered when we were trying to go through old things to see what we were going to get rid of, is we found this huge bin full of old DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff that we haven't watched in forever. And a lot of them we already own digital copies of and stuff like that. But I came across this, and I don't even remember where or when I bought it, but I know I haven't watched it yet. So we're going to watch this before I go, which is a Hauntings in America DVD set. Who knows where I got this? Probably some thrift shop or something like that. So this is, we were going to watch it, and then I just sold my PS4. Oh, I can watch it on my computer. Does it even have a DVD? Yeah, we can watch this on my computer. I'm like, how am I going to watch it? Hauntings in America. It's a 2 DVD set of hauntings. And I was like, ooh, I can get some good ideas for haunting stories for the spectacular, because I do want to tell some ghost stories for that. So that'll be kind of fun. I also told you guys I have a giveaway today. So I am going to give away this copy of Demons Forever, which is one of the OG, back when it was still called Peachful High Demons, book 6. And you can't buy this anymore. This is even before I changed my name on the cover and branded my name. So if you would like a copy of Demons Forever, go ahead and leave a comment. And in just a minute, I will be sure to pick somebody live right now, right here, to win this. And then I will also, on the replay, I'm going to give away a copy of the current one of Beautiful Demons, that is just the new-ish or most recent cover. So this one I will give away on the replay, and I will give it away. I'll announce a winner on Monday. So if you're on the right now, Demons Forever, on the replay, Beautiful Demons, and I will choose from the comments on the replay. So if you want a chance to win Beautiful Demons, then just come back. If you're live right now, come back after the live is over and leave a comment on the regular one. So OG editions, I do have a few of them, and I don't know if we packed them all up or if they're out there in the other room, but if I do have them, they will all be going away. I will be giving them away. I did save one set for myself, but it is a very chunky book, Jenna. It is definitely a chunky book, and your book just went out in the mail. So hopefully you did get a email about that. I think I've sent out everything that so far that has been given away. So I need to keep up with it. I was excited because I had an OG. Have any of you ever played the game Fatal Frame? So it was available, I think, for the PS2. And it was available for the original Xbox. And it is a game where a girl goes to a mansion searching for her brother because he's disappeared, and she finds an old camera, and the gameplay is that it's kind of like a puzzle survival horror game, and when you see a ghost coming at you, you have to pull your camera up and take a photo of them, and that's how you kill the ghost, is to take a photo of them. It is like one of my favorite. Thank you, Mel. I love it. So, oh gosh, that is like one of my favorite games of all time, and I sold it. So as we're selling stuff on eBay, and I sold it for almost $100, you guys, like an old OG game. That is so crazy. All right. So I'm just going to close my eyes and go up like this, and we'll see kind of where we land. Nimidel, yay. So if you would like this copy of Demons Forever, this is yours. Just send me an email at sarah@sarahcannon.com. I'm going to type it in the chat so that you get it right. And let me know your address, your full name and address, and I will send it to you. And congratulations. I know everybody would probably love one of these. And maybe I have actually considered doing like a limited print run of the original 6 covers for when we do the like finale of the whole series, of just having like a limited edition run of those. Oh yay, Lunam Love. Isn't she amazing? She's just so good. Oh, they did. So I think they've made a new Fatal Frame. I think there's 3 total so far. And if there's going to be a new one, oh yeah, we just sold all of our consoles except for my Nintendo Switch, because that'll be easier to kind of, take on the road. But when we get settled somewhere, I will actually buy I will buy one or the other, either a Nintendo or a PS5 or an Xbox X, I think is what it's called. But we haven't, I don't have time to play those games as much as I want to. All right, so this is me talking forever and not answering any questions that people asked in the coven. So I'm gonna try my best to answer a few. Alexis says that would be awesome, limited run. I think it would be fun to do it. Like bring back the t-shirt design that I had for things like I had shown you guys this, which is still here sitting on my floor. Bring back this design for t-shirts and bags and stuff like that. Bring back the OG covers. Where we might even have a special limited edition hardcover that's going to be available. So there's going to be lots of cool things coming later when book 5 is coming out. So I know we have book 5, book 12, y'all. This is what's happening to my brain. Let me see if I can find the coffee chat post, because I do know that it went up. Where are you? Okay. So Alex had asked, and this does have a little bit of a spoiler in it. So if you have not been listening with us to the readings, just plug your ears for a second. So writerly questions. I'm making a conscious effort to study story structure in the books I read in an effort to better my own craft. With Demons Forever, I was wondering where the first doorway or end of Act 1 is. Is it when they take Gregory, or when Harper spars with her father, or someplace else? Don't worry if we haven't got there yet. Oh gosh. So end of Act 1, I had that little sheet with me. I have to think, because it's been a little while since I've read this book out loud and really thought about the story structure. So there's a very, very clear midpoint. Like you will definitely understand where the midpoint is. I would say if you have to say like into the new world, it would be that moment with Harper's father, probably, because that's that moment of her embracing this deeper level of her own magic. But I will look back through it since you asked that question, and I will talk about it a little bit on Monday because I didn't prepare for this. But I think my intention originally, now I will say this book and these whole first 6 books, I did plot them in that way where I had a very clear idea of where the first doorway was and that sort of thing. But when I go back to analyze story structure, I have a hard time going back to some of these earlier books that I wrote because I didn't understand it as well as I do now. So a lot of those things were done intuitively and I have to kind of think back through them. Whereas like for Vengeful Darkness, for example, I know exactly because I'm doing it much more intentionally for those kind of things. So, you know, it's just one of those important. Hey, I warned that there was a spoiler coming. I did warn. So second question is more of a request. I know you are super busy right now, but when you begin to film again, would you consider adding one or both of these to your Heart Breathings ideas list? How to plot and write a plot twist, and the best ways to write the passing of time in a novel, specifically a jump of just days or weeks. I've noticed you do this so seamlessly in your books. Thank you. Thank you so much. So yeah, I think those are really good ones. I think the twists are definitely super, super fun. Videos lagging. Oh no. I definitely think that would be a good, something a lot of people would be interested in for learning how to write a plot twist for sure, because I think that that is something I'm obviously super experienced in and really, really fun. And the other thing would be, you know, the best ways to write the passing of time in a novel. So yeah, I think I definitely have some ideas on that. So those are very good. Those are very good ideas. So I will write those. I have kind of a running list of ideas for my channel and I definitely will do it. So, Lynn just says past 11 books. So that's not really a question, but I think she's just saying that she read book 11, which I hope you enjoyed it. So that's all there was in the covens. There wasn't much, but I know there's a couple Discord questions. So, T-Witch Taryn says, do you write chronological order or can you skip ahead a little and then go back the next day just to keep things going? So I actually enjoy writing out of order. Angela, you do plot twists? So I like writing out of order when I want to, I guess, explore how things are going. And I would prefer to go forward to a spot that I know. And that's probably the biggest thing that helped me continue writing when I got stuck a lot. So if you're a writer who gets stuck and then you just don't know what to do and you spend months and months or weeks and weeks trying to figure out what happens next, I highly recommend just trying the process of jumping forward to a scene you know. So a lot of times when you start writing, whether you've plotted the whole thing or not, or if you're just a pantser, a lot of times you may not know how you get from A to B, but you know what B is. Like you may be like, I know there's gonna be a scene where such and such happens between Airden and Jackson, but I don't know where it happens exactly, or I don't know how they get there. And sometimes if some writers just cannot write out of order, you got to write it linear or it just doesn't happen. But I found that my writing improved a lot when I was allowed myself to jump around a little bit. So you can do it any way you want, but I enjoy and find it very helpful to write out of chronological order, because a lot of times I'll be like, okay, I'm stuck. So I'm just going to sit down and write this scene that I know is happening later in the book, or even the very final scene of the book. I'll be like, I'm going to go write this final battle scene and see how that comes together. And a lot of times whatever's happening later will inform something or give me some idea about, oh, that's what needs to happen. There needs to be this extra, bit of something that happens in Act 1 that sets this up. So then I get excited and I get to go back to where I was. And that is super helpful for me. Who is your favorite Marvel character and who is your favorite DC character? DC character is easy because, well, I do love Batman. I really do love Batman, but Wonder Woman is my favorite DC character. She's just amazing. I love her. Marvel character is harder because there's just so many really good Marvel characters. I love Black Widow, but I haven't seen the new movie, and I feel like that might inform how I feel about Black Widow. Iron Man, it's really hard not to love Iron Man the best, because I just feel like I was not a fan of comics necessarily. I only had a handful of comics. So my Marvel and DC knowledge comes from TV shows and the movies. So I'll just qualify that there. So I can't speak to the actual comics, but yes, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man is like, he was created for that role and that role was created for him. He's just so amazing at it. And I just love him. And I do love Doctor Strange too. And I'm very much looking forward to the next movie. Now, the Doctor Strange character is not always my favorite character, but that witchiness of his powers is probably one of my favorites. But if in terms of like my favorite character in the whole movies and stuff is Iron Man. I just have to absolutely love him. Blue ink or black in your journals? Always black. I write in black 99% of the time. So Writer on Wheels, my current draft, high fantasy planned trilogy, possibly 4 books if that matters, is in third person because I had a few scenes I wanted to add from other characters' perspective. Now it's looking like the first POV switch is going to be at about the 10K word mark of what I'm anticipating to be a 60K draft, though probably more. Is that too late to add my first POV change? And how often should I change POV? Right now, I'm out of 50 scenes planned. I have 10 that aren't my main character. So this is a really good question. And number one, I will say, oh, I left Renee's. Renee, you're just going to be forever up there. So I think that you shouldn't necessarily worry about when does a character come in. So like the first time that we see, this will not be a spoiler necessarily because it doesn't tell you anything about the story or what book it happens. But the first time we see a actual POV from one of the priestesses of the Order of Shadows, it happens at the beginning of the book, and then you never see her POV again. The first time we see another priestess's POV, it's at the very last scene of a book, and that's the only time you see it in that book. So I think that it really is what works best for the story. I think a lot of times when people are trying to write, and this was true for me too, is when you are writing multiple POV, sometimes you feel like, oh, I've got to keep it equal. It's got to be, 2 chapters of this person and 2 chapters of this, or I have to go this person, and, play like, like everybody gets one. You get a chapter and you get a chapter and you get a chapter and you get a chapter, but it doesn't really have to be like that. And when you read the masters, like speaking of Wheel of Time, which we were talking about before, in the, I think we were talking about it in my little morning session this morning. In the Wheel of Time, for example, you have Rand is kind of considered one of the main characters. Obviously, you see his point of view more than any others in the first couple of books, but there are later books where you barely see Rand at all. And you have to, I think as a writer, you have to just say what serves the story best, not like, I got to make sure everybody has equal amount, or I got to make sure you see this character early enough. The only time that I would say that that is not true is in romance, because when you're writing romance and you have the 2 points of view, you have the his and her, or the her and her, if you're writing, LGBTQ, but when you have the 2 lovers, you don't want to have like 30,000 words before you meet the guy. There's more kind of traditional rules when it comes to that. But when you're writing fantasy, that character can come in when they need to come in. And I wouldn't worry about it. It's just what serves the story. And that's what you need to think about. So it's totally fine if it's 6K, 10K in, it's great. I don't think it matters. It really depends on the story. Romance is the only thing where it's like, you really do need to kind of keep it equal, or you need to kind of make sure you see that character on screen a little bit ahead of time. So there's that. I will answer one more, and then we're not probably going to make it to all the rest of them. Brooke, I received beta reader feedback and I'm working on final rewrites before I send to my editor. How much weight should I give their feedback if it is contradictory? For example, one reader thought I should bring the heat in a scene with a first kiss, but the other reader disagreed because this is a definite Hallmark type of romance. How do I determine what's preferred and what feedback I need to change parts of the story or characters? By the way, using Faith Williams, she was excited to hear I got her name from your amazing Publish and Thrive coursework book. Yay, Faith. Oh, she's amazing. She's an amazing editor. I'm glad that you're using her. So here's what Stephen King has to say about this in his book on writing. He basically says that he has his critique partners, his first readers, and if the majority of them say, this is the way it needs to be, I have a problem with this, then he always changes it to what they say. But if it's 50-50, the writer wins. And what he means by that is if you got one beta reader that says this and another beta reader that contradicts, then you just follow your own instincts and follow your own decisions on that. When it comes to both beta readers agreeing, then you might have a problem. Okay, I probably should change this. So I kind of agree with Stephen King on this one. It's like if you have multiple beta readers and most of them have a problem with it or feel that it needs to change, then it probably should change. If one person feels that it should change and one person likes it the way it is, then you just trust yourself and you go with what you feel instead of letting it doubt you. And that's, I think, is a good rule of thumb. If you only have one critique partner and one beta reader and they say that it's a problem, then I think you need to just try your best to step back and see it from a reader's perspective. And since you're taking Publish and Thrive, you'll start to see that genre, you'll see those genre rules and the things that I recommend in the book about making sure you understand who your ideal reader is, where your story fits into the world of writing and so forth. I did see, so I'm not going to make it to the final question from Dania, but Sasha said, I'm a new writer and currently working on a project, but I'm confused as I don't know whatever I'm writing is good or not. Welcome to the club. Even 20 something books in, I never know if it's good or not. So my question is, should I first try to publish on Wattpad to gain fans and see if people are liking my writing, or just go on the road to self-publishing? So I think that if everybody is always like, should I have, there's sprints going. There's sprints starting if you're going over there. So thank you, Angela, for running sprints. I forgot we had that going on right now. But I would say if you're a brand new writer and you don't know if it's any good or not, you're normal. Everybody feels that way. But one of the best ways to get started is to start getting critique partners. Now, Wattpad is a cool place, and there definitely are ways to gain fans there, to get feedback, but it's also like showing your book to the world, and people might say mean things. People might not read it at all. I know a lot of people that try to get started on Wattpad and nobody reads their book at all. And you have to really start to move, you have to move, to a lot of different things, like reading other people's stuff and, all that stuff. So let me see if I can scroll up and see Catherine's question. Is it this one? I've started working on a fantasy novel. What advice would you give a beginner as I'm trying to set up a support group in the UK for beginner writers? So this is kind of a similar thing. So I do actually have a video over on Heart Breathings that's called How to Get Started as a Writer. And that probably has my best advice for beginner writers. So I can post that over in the Coven for sure. But I think for a beginner, you want to say hi? You want to come sit with mommy? You got an elephant? What you got there? Elephant?
That one.
Yeah, you like that book, don't you? So I think one of the best advices, this is similar to what I was just about to say to Sasha, is getting critique partners. When you're first getting started as a writer, getting a critique partner or someone else who is in a similar type of position, they're also a new writer, and starting to get that feedback was one of the biggest things that I did in my career that was super huge, is having that other person there that, isn't judging me. They're not an editor. They're not some I guess I would say intimidating person, that is going to just be lording down on my story. It's just somebody who's also a writer in the same boat that I'm in, and we're exchanging chapters and we're talking to each other and we're making decisions about each other's stuff and we're learning from each other. That was the biggest thing that helped me as a new writer. Also, reading as much as you can get your hands on that is in your own genre, because one of the biggest things, especially if you want to be a selling writer, you have to understand, George, everybody wants to see your shirt. If you want to be a selling writer, you have to understand what is the genre norms of your book. So it says never forget, and it has the little floppy disk and the VHS and the cassette tape. So his best friend sent him that. So it's pretty funny. Headless George. But I think that really reading as much as you can get your hands on from other writers in your genre that have inspired you or have been, pivotal for your own success. Because I'll tell you, a lot of people feel like my book has to be completely different. It has to be completely original. But that is so not true. Your book needs to fit into what readers expect out of that genre. And then you need to bring yourself and your own personality to it. But nobody wants to read a romance where the couple doesn't fall in love. Like, that's just not a romance. So you need to understand what it is you're writing, and then read as much of it as you can and start to figure out for yourself what you want to write and what parts of those tropes you enjoy, what part of that genre you enjoy. And the more you start to get that and start to understand how other people do it, then you will become to developing your own style and your own voice. The other big advice for beginning writers is just understand that it's not going to be perfect the very first time that you go through it. It is a process, and it takes sometimes years to really learn and find your voice and get your feet out from under you. So, or get your feet under you. So don't feel like it has to be perfect, because I think a lot of people give up because the story they see in their head is not coming out on the paper the way that they wanted it to. And then they just get so frustrated. Like, I'm no good because I've been writing this and I feel like I can see it in my head and it's just not coming out, and I don't get why it isn't. And it's just not because you have to learn how to do it, right? It's a process. It's a craft. You have to learn how to do it. You wouldn't expect to sit down with watercolors for the very first time, or sit down with a piano for the very first time and do it perfectly. So I don't know why you would think you would be able to sit down and perfectly write just because you've been putting words together your whole life. It's a different kind of process. So I know we're over time and I will shut my mouth, but I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for hanging out. I always feel like, am I going to have enough to talk about for an hour? And then I just love hanging out and the conversations that come from it. So thank you all for being here. It's going to be a good, or this actually was a good final from this house coffee chat, because by next Friday, I may be still in this house Friday. We're not 100% certain exactly what day we're leaving, but this stuff will no longer be here. So we'll see kind of how it goes, but I think this will be the last one from this computer, if not from this house altogether. So thank you guys for hanging out. Super, super fun. If you're a writer and you're in the Writing Sprints group, go hang out with Angela for a couple hours for her writing sprints. And I will be back tomorrow morning with Writing Sprints in the morning. And I will see you guys soon. We'll talk a little bit more on Monday, and congratulations, Nimidel, in winning this one. And I will be giving away Beautiful Demons on Monday. All right. I'll see you guys then. Have a great weekend. Bye.